Welcome to Washington in Focus. I'm Spencer Pauly. Joining me today is the Center Square state reporter, Randy Brecht. Now, Randy, in the news this week, there's an election coming up. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, Spencer, good morning. And you're right, there is an election coming up here, and a lot's going to be happening pretty quickly. So be checking your mailbox because in 39 different counties, auditors and election staff are going to be mailing out about 4.8 million ballots this week to registered voters for what's called an odd year election, which means the focus is on local races for city councils, school boards, port and hospital districts, rural fire commissions, and so on. There's not any statewide candidates or measures for voters to consider this year. Tomorrow, Friday, marks the official start of Washington's 18-day voting period, and that continues up to Tuesday, November 7th, which is Election Day, and the polls will close at 8 p.m. So to be counted, mail-in ballots must be postmarked by that date and that time.
Well, seems like voters need to start deciding who they want to vote on. Do they need to stick a stamp on their envelopes? How is this going to work?
No, postage is free. So, really, there's no excuse for people not to fill out a ballot and get it returned. Typically, odd-year elections or primaries, they have kind of low voter turnout, but hopefully people will get out and support these local races. If you're a procrastinator, you just want to get out of the house, you do have the option of delivering your ballot in person, either do a designated drop box or to the county elections office by 8 p.m. on election night. And if you're not registered to vote, but you want to, you can sign up by mail or online through October 30th. There's information for that, along with drop box locations, voter guides, ballot status, and more on the Secretary of State's website, sos.wa.gov. You can also sign up in person at the county election office until 8 p.m. on election night. Bring some valid ID, though.
Seems like it should be fairly straightforward for voters. Me personally, I've seen some of these ballot boxes out here in Seattle, so there's no excuse for my end as well.
Yeah.
But sometime in the coming days, after you collect your mail and open your ballot, what should listeners expect?
Across the state, probably a lot. According to the Secretary of State's office, there's actually almost 3,100 different ballot races that are going to be decided in December, including 1,061 city positions, 888 school board positions, 452 fire district commission seats, and over 650 other local positions for county, water, sewer, park, hospital, port, cemetery districts. There's even one contested race in a flood control district. Also, depending on your location, voters are going to decide 128 different measures such as levy or bond propositions around the state.
That's a lot across the board, Randy. I'm assuming you know every single measure that's being decided on, so you're an expert on this, right?
Totally an expert, and I've got them all subscribed to memory.
There you go. Can you just give us an example of some measures you've been focusing on lately?
In Spokane County, there's actually two pretty high-profile measures that are going to be decided. One is simply called Measure Number 1, which Spokane County commissioners put up for public vote. If it's approved, it would raise the local sales and use tax countywide by 0.2%. That equates to about 2 cents on every $10 sale to provide more money for criminal justice, public safety, and behavioral health purposes. It would go into effect next April, continue for 30 years, raising, and this is a lot, an estimated $1.7 billion over that time.
Wow.
It's not chump change. You can hire the police and give them related training equipment and related infrastructure, but it can't go to unrelated purposes like roads or utility services. By law, the county gets 60% of this new dedicated tax revenue. The remaining 40% is going to be shared by the county cities and towns based on their population. So the largest city, Spokane, gets the largest share, about 28%, followed by City of Spokane Valley with 11%.
So you kind of brushed on it there that the money would go towards criminal justice, public safety, and behavioral health purposes. Can you go more in depth about what exactly this money would go towards?
Well, the county officials who support the measure say they want to expand their nearly 40-year-old jail in downtown Spokane. They want to add another minimum security, what they call Community Corrections Law and Justice Center, that would include more courtrooms and provide services to inmates such as drug and alcohol treatment, mental health counseling, GED preparation, and more. The price tag is pretty high. Overall, it's been estimated at $300 million. The county commission, there's 5 members. The 3 Republicans have supported the proposal. The 2 Democrats on board have opposed it. Also, a little earlier this month, the Spokane City Council issued kind of a symbolic resolution and a 5-2 vote, with the majority members claiming the measure lacks some specifics on spending, and they consider it to be kind of a blank check to the county without enough accountability. The 2 opposing dissenting members felt that there's a need for it right now, and there are bad people in jail, and they need to be kept there.
Understood. I see.
One more ballot initiative called Proposition 1 that's going to be decided by voters living within Spokane City limits. Measure 1 is a countywide vote. Proposition 1 is strictly inside city limits. If it's enacted, the proposition would prohibit unauthorized encampments within 1,000 feet of schools, public parks, playgrounds, or licensed daycare facilities. The sponsors say the intent is to protect children from potentially disruptive or dangerous behavior in nearby homeless encampments. Opponents to this proposition call it fear-mongering and say it unfairly targets disadvantaged and homeless persons who aren't causing any problems or breaking any laws. So the opponents believe that prohibiting camping in nearly all these public spaces is going to create additional problems and maybe push the homeless into neighborhoods. They also contend that the proposition's constitutionality is questionable and think it may lead to a costly legal challenge. Both these measures, Measure 1 and Proposition 1, only need simple majority votes for passage.
Understood. So lots of potential changes, both in Spokane County and other jurisdictions around the state, as Election Day nears here. Listeners can keep up with the story and more at thecentersquare.com. For Randy Bracht, I'm Spencer Pauly. Please subscribe, and thanks for listening.